Hey, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing more of an in-depth tutorial on how I create my big bouncy bob blow dries. It's definitely one of my most asked questions across my social media, but I just wanted to give you more an in-depth tutorial with a little bit more information on how to create this look. So if you would like to know all there is, then please keep watching. The first things that you're going to need, which I personally would say are completely non-negotiables, these three products have completely changed my blow dry game. My blow dries never used to last as well or have as much volume as what they do now that I use these products, and that is the Colour Wow Extra Large Bombshell Volumizer. We've got the Colour Wow Raise the Root Lifting Spray and the Style on Steroids Hairspray. This is unbelievable. It gives you so much hold, so much volume without giving you that like sticky frozen feel in your hair, so you can still run your hands through your hair and still get a lot of movement in there. I do also love, but I would use this on the days that it's just like every day that I'm not blow drying my hair to go out or for an event. This would just be like an everyday blow dry. Is the Dream Cocktail Carb Infused by Colour Wow again. So we'll start off with using the root lifter spray. So you just want to spray this in directly at your root, just a couple of pumps on each section. And then give that a little rub in, so you make sure it's distributed well throughout your root. Then I'm going to use the Bombshell. Now I like to use around 4 to 5 pumps of this. The great thing about this as well is you can actually use it on dry hair. So if you need to give your hair a little bit more life or a little bit more lift, maybe a few days in, you can actually use this again on your dry hair. Pump this in, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rub into your hands like this, and then just sort of scrunch it in all over. Make sure all your hair is coated. And you can actually use this in at the root as well. So if you don't have the root lifter spray, you can rub this into your root to give you that extra lift too. Then you're going to want to blast dry your hair till it's around 80% dry. The reason that you want to do it so that it's around 80% dry is because then your hair is in its most flexible state. So that means then when we go in with the hot brush, the hair is going to be in its perfect condition to be manipulated into the shape that you want to put it into. So let's get blast drying. Also, I will say when you're blast drying, you don't want to angle your hairdryer down. You want to sort of angle it upwards because you want to try and get as much airflow in all different directions and still get that root lift in while you're blast drying. If you're going to hold your hairdryer up and blast dry down, then you're already creating a problem for yourself, because you're going to be smoothing that cuticle down and getting everything too flat, when what we want to do is lift it up and create as much volume as possible. So this is what you'll be left with. Again, you can see I've already got a bit of that lift in my root already from where I've been blow drying that in. I want your hair to be, like I said, around 80% dry. It's still a little bit damp, but it's not soaking wet. The next thing you're going to need is a hot brush. I would personally say a hot brush is so much easier convenience wise than trying to blow dry with a brush and a hairdryer. If this is something that you're not used to doing, it makes you feel really cat-handed. Even me as a hairdresser who does this all the time finds it quite difficult to use the brush and the hairdryer on myself. So I use a hot brush. You don't need to use this one, you can use any one you want. I have had this one, I'm not joking, for about 10 years. I think it's about £35 from Fabulous. You can use any hot brush you want. I just would say don't go any, I mean, how embarrassing. Look how, it's very well loved. It's full of hair, it needs cleaned, it's very well loved. But don't go anything that's got a brush size sort of bigger than this. If you've got a Dyson Airwrap, great, you can use that. It doesn't have to be this one, but I would say don't go anything sort of bigger than this. Then I'm just going to section my hair and get into the blow dry. I will start adding the rollers in now from this section, from sort of my ear upwards. And what I would say is you don't want to blow dry coming up and down and round. I would say take it sideways, sort of lift up diagonally to get that root lift, and then twist down, because then when you take this out, your curl is going to be going this way, where if you was to blow dry it like this, you're just going to get sort of that flick going under, which is fine if that's what you want. And I would always say use a bigger size roller if that's what you want, just a flick. But if you do want more of a curl or a flick coming outwards, then I would say use a smaller roller and go in sideways. And I would always twist out instead of pulling down so that you get that bounce. You also want to get your roller in while your hair is still hot so that it has time to cool down in the shape of the roller, which is also going to give it more bounce and more volume and more hold. Again, I'm going to put that roller in just on an angle, and these are my favourite kind of clips to use, so they just slide in. And voila! So I'm just going to continue doing that around my whole head now, coming sideways and on an angle until I get up to when my hair parts, which I'm going to take all coming backwards. So my parting is around here. I'm not going to blow dry these two sides coming out. I'm going to blow dry them coming back on each other for maximum volume again. This section now. As I said, I part my hair around here, so I'm not going to take my section like this and blow dry either side in my parting, because that will give you a little bit of root drag unless you really over direct it. So the easiest way to do is to take your section straight across and blow dry it coming back and put your roller in, and then the same with your fringe or your bangs or whatever section you're left with at the front. So now that all my rollers are in, I'm just going to spritz over my hair with these Style on Steroids. Now, obviously, the longer that you've got to leave your rollers in, the better. I actually don't have that long today because we are heading out in a minute. So I'm just going to give this little spritz all over, leave these in for about 10 minutes, and then I'll be back to take them out of you. Okay, so like I said before, the longer you leave these in, the better. I haven't actually got that much time today, but I have allowed them to cool. I would normally, if I could, leave them in for at least an hour, just to give you the best bounce and the best hold. But I think these have been in probably about 15 minutes. So again, when taking your rollers out, I always think it's better to twist them out than to pull them down. I just put my finger through the end and then just twist it out like that, and just do that the whole way around my head. I'm just going to tilt my head backwards, give it a little spritz all over, run my hands through it, just give it a little shake. So I'm not pulling out, I'm just shaking, and then, I mean, look at that volume, look at that volume. So I'll just play around with it. Like I said, I didn't really leave these in for that long, so I'm probably going to get more of a this look than a flicky curly look, which is fine because I'm not really doing anything today. I think we're just going to go to IKEA. But yeah, that is how I get my big bouncy voluminous blow dries. I will then go back in if I need to, especially if I'm going out, and just lift my hair up and kind of just spray this angled at the root, because I mean, just look, it's absolutely amazing. It's honestly the best hairspray ever. So just go around picking the hair up. And like I say, you can still manipulate the hair, move it around. It's not going to give it too much of a sticky hold. That is how I get my big bouncy blow dries for my bob. Thank you so much for watching this video. Everything that I've used will be listed in the show notes below, and I will leave links to everything so that it's easier for you to find. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.